the biggest Afrobeats artists performed well outside of Africa. Like the reason Burna Boy was one of the biggest artists was because he had fanfare in America, in Europe, in Canada. He has a West African audience, obviously, but he can't just tour Africa and make a tenth of what he would make like in America or in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Because the people there don't have the buying power for the type of concerts that he demands in America. This is the Rhythm and Rhymes podcast. I'm your host, AJ Hughes, and I'm here with my co-host, Antonio Hughes. And today I wanted to get into this theory I saw on the internet about Afrobeats. Basically, they were comparing Afrobeats to like natural resources or gold in Africa, which I thought, at first, I'm like, that feels like a stretch. But if you think about how natural resources have been extracted out of the continent and essentially sold and commoditized in other countries, most other people outside of the continent are reaping the benefits of these natural resources, where the manufacturers or the people in the actual countries making or producing the thing are not really reaping the benefits. There's not a ton of infrastructure in West Africa still for performances and live venues, concerts, and labels and stuff like that. The same way that there aren't a lot of like companies that are in West Africa that are doing more than just extracting these materials. Do you think there's like some merit to the analogy, and why do you think that is, even in something like music, which is way different than something like gold?
I think there is some merit to it. I think one of the things that you pointed to that I was thinking about pointing to when it came to this topic was kind of like that infrastructure gap. I think the difference in a place, like when it comes to those natural resources, is that in Africa, I feel like they do have resources for mining. They do have mining companies. There are big companies who are mining this gold. Versus on like the music side, I'm not as versed with the labels and the groups in um, Africa that would be comparable to like a Sony or
But
a
that's the thing. There's Sony Africa branch. There's Universal Africa. There's Empire Africa. Like there's all these. Well, I wouldn't say Empire because they're independent, but all these companies have an African wing. But if you look
yeah.
at the management, if you look at the labels that are currently out there outside of like Mavin and Chocolate City, which have bigger artists like Rema, Ira Star, Black Bones, and stuff like that, the fact that you couldn't really name any independent or well-known African labels is sort of the point.
I think that's really the problem and why it even, I guess, has the opportunity to get extracted is that lack of infrastructure, or I guess lack of infrastructure that comes directly from Africa. That's not a Western creation put into a different country, because they do that in a lot of other countries too. So, I think the other thing that's kind of interesting to think about with it, like the ownership versus IP aspect, you're getting a lot more visibility with Afrobeats now being on the mainstream, being in more integrated into the major labels, things like that. But it's at the same time, are we getting the ownership? Not we, I'm not African, but are we getting the ownership? Are we getting the are they getting the rights to their music? Are they enjoying, I guess, the proceeds of their work? That's something that's definitely interesting to look at. I'm thinking that
I
it's
would
less
I
likely.
would go even a step further. Like think about, we heard a Sexyy Red Central C Afrobeat song.
Yeah.
Technically, like if you think about like the type of music, like artists are taking, it's now like I don't have to go get Burna Boy on a track. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go get an Afrobeat star on a track. I can just go get a log drum and I can just make a Afrobeats ish record, and it's kind of gonna go. I think to like even past like the artists making money, the artists are the artists that have done well, like the biggest Afrobeats artists performed well outside of Africa,
Okay.
right? Like the reason Burna Boy was one of the biggest artists was because he had fanfare in America, in Europe, in Canada. And
Mhm.
so he was able to amass like an audience that was going to go sell hard tickets. If you really think about it though, like he has a West African audience, obviously, but he can't just tour Africa and make a tenth of what he would make like in America or in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Because the people there don't have the buying power for the type of concerts that he demands in America. Like I pay how much I want to see him at a festival, but imagine his ticket is $100. Like what that is in Naira, how you couldn't even throw that concert in West Africa. You know what I mean? So now it's like the sound is damn near only profitable in Western countries.
Yeah, and that's sick. Like even Rema too, like seeing Rema's fan base when he came
Yeah.
to Chicago, and the fact that I saw some of the white people I would see there, they definitely got up when that Selena Gomez verse got played in the background, like shit like that. It's definitely like a cultural dilution when it comes to certain stuff. I think the same thing happened in rap, the same thing happened in rock. It's happened in a lot of different genres. So I guess when the West gets their hands on something, it doesn't really surprise me that it gets diluted. And I think the further down stuff gets, like kind of like how you were talking about, are we going to be looking at rap as like white people created this in a few years, whatever? All right. Could we look at it like that? Could that ever happen? Obviously, that's I feel like it's less likely just knowing the roots of the genre, but it wouldn't surprise me if the only Afrobeats artist people ended up knowing in their life was a Burna Boy, a
I
WizKid, or something like that.
You know what else I was thinking about? Because, and I don't think people think about this enough, right? Like the reason black people they're the minority. They're only a percentage of the populations in a lot of these countries where they're selling, like in the West, America, Canada, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So if you, let's say, have a larger white audience, right? Let's say that 80% of the pie, that whole 80% listens to you as an artist. If everybody, and this is, I'm dumbing down these numbers, but if everybody listens to it, let's say you have 80 listens, they listen one time. Let's say you serve a black audience, and you make music tailored towards specifically black people. Let's say it's 20%. Everybody has to listen to it 4 times to
Mhm.
have the equivalent of that larger subset of people that's listening to something broader. So it's like if we're making music and we're putting out a ton of music because we have to have higher volume to amass the similar revenue of somebody 4 or 5 times the size, we're sort of validating the idea. So if you're putting out hella Afrobeats music and it starts refining the sound, you start finding like the songs that go, the hits. It's like if I'm Post Malone, like you done proved it worked already. So then I get to make it to a lesser degree to serve to more people and make more money than you who's probably putting out a higher volume of music and potentially even doing it better. I was just thinking about that the other day. Um, I was doing like an ads plan for marketing, and I'm like, you have a subset of people, you're gonna have to make more content because people are gonna get tired of listening to that specific content quicker than if you have a larger demographic of people because it has more opportunities to touch um, a broader audience, if that makes sense.
Maybe that kind of maybe that's why a lot of I guess rap artists burn out quick because it's like we're making music for people in our demographic, and it's less likely that you stay around than a person like a Drake or like a I guess like I could even say a Kendrick. Like I feel like he does a good job of making stuff that's really broad. Of course, he's pointing to black audiences most of the time, primarily, but I think he's made enough stuff that's broad to where you see people in all I just guess cultures really vibing with his music. So yeah, that's
Th-
interesting to think about. I didn't even think about that.
There's a lot of factors that play into it, right? So if you came from an era where like release cycles were slower, like
Mhm.
a Kendrick, where you were putting stuff out every 3, 4, 5 years, you amassed the audience in a different way because people weren't like looking for things like this.
Yeah.
Social media has just sped the cycle up. You know what I mean? I was reading there's a book by David Ogilvy essentially saying like when you're building campaigns, the big idea or like what you're selling should be something that can be said or sold for the next 20 years. You want to run a campaign for a super long time because you want to wear the branding in or have something that's capable of doing that. And I asked Claude, I'm like, is that still feasible given current market conditions and current media? Right. Like, because before it was like billboards and newspapers, You know what I'm saying? And emails and newspaper clippings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Today it's social media. And it was like more likely it's probably closer to like 3 years. So if you have a campaign that could last you 3 years, that's probably equivalent to a campaign in 1960 that would have lasted 20 years. And I think that just goes for ideas and anything creative in general. Things are moving so fast that you almost have to like you feel like you have to put a ton of stuff out. Um, but yeah, I went down a little rabbit hole, but I thought the concept was interesting. Um, because people don't really know who they're serving a lot of times. They just putting stuff out and hope it does good.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like even knowing who you serve is kind of choosing like, and this will be interesting as Africa continues to get builder and grow wealth, take itself away from the West. But if you're a person who's like, okay, I'm really in this to make money, I really need to make money, I'm gonna push towards that 80% that we were talking about, versus maybe you're like, okay, I'm in this shit for the love. Like I really love what I do. I love serving my people, whatever. So I'm gonna focus on the 20%. And I guess that kind of deviation is definitely gonna be tough for artists in the next couple of years. But
I think it is, but I don't think I think like the whole premise of I guess my career is that even though we may be 10 to 15% in America, that 10 to 15% in all of the West, plus the continent of Africa, if you're targeting psychologically,
mhm,
is large enough it's a large enough demographic to make a good living and make great money. Obviously, in those other countries, like developing countries, CPMs are going to be lower, so you're just going to earn less on streams and things of that nature. But if you think about just expanding the amount of people by 2050, there's supposed to be 2.5 billion people in Africa,
mhm,
right? If you are an Afrobeats artist or you're an African company and you're doing something there, you have a large enough uh, addressable market. So it's not even like, oh, I want to serve. If you want to be strictly dollars and cents about it, it don't even have to be I want to serve my people. It's like what I'm making, who is it best tailored to? Because if
right,
you're best tailored to that larger 80% in America, like go make the bread. But if it's something that is probably better tailored for people of African descent, people in the Caribbean, you know what I'm saying? If it's something
mhm,
tailored like that, the internet now allows you to find those people strategically, like almost to a T, like exactly where they're at, what they buy, what they click on. So I think it's interesting now that we're getting more data that you can be more strategic about what you're making. You know what I'm saying? And I hope we start seeing more stuff come out of Africa that's more than the artist, right?
mhm.
Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully.
I found the video for Burna Boy and DJ Tunes. I wanted to show it to you. Bro. It's not great. Not great footage, but you got the scuffle.
Yeah.
Basically, Burner Boy in a social post, he admitted to two slaps in a video with Charlie Poppy. Essentially, he denied that he was a part of the jump, but then WizKid came out and also said something alluding to the incident. And what people are saying is that when he was up there, DJ Tunes performing, he kept performing WizKid songs while Burna Boy was in the crowd and wasn't playing Burna Boy songs. The reason I bring this up is just mainly because I be hearing a lot of bad stuff on the internet about Burna Boy.
Dude. Every week. Shit.
I think it's you know the audacity. There's somebody I don't forget what podcast I was watching, but they said like Burna Boy is like the mayor, like he's the mayor of his city. Like he just like they said he'd be speeding through town like in his little Lamborghinis, doing whatever he want to do. Like police don't pull him over. You know what I'm saying? He just out here just running amok. And I just want to say I can't like verify many of these claims. I just don't want it to go so far that it's like we can't listen to Burna Boy no more. You know what I mean?
Well, don't you feel like that's a big part of that is on him? Because I feel like that's major ego. I understand you're in a club. You're like, why ain't you playing my shit? But it's like, you gonna go slap a nigga over that? Like that's you could just be like, yo, play,
Bro,
yeah.
the, the Nigerian DJ Association banned his music.
I seen that. I seen that. For I don't. Did they say how long it was?
It wasn't like it's probably not gonna last that long, but it's just the fact that the DJs got together and was like, nah, this can't run. Which is I'm glad they did that, because how you gonna tell me what to play? Maybe I had a set plan before you got here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I had the set plan. Just because I see you out in the crowd don't mean I gotta throw your slaps on. Now, granted, if I was DJing, they probably was gonna come on regardless. But maybe that's WizKid's DJ. That's literally WizKid's DJ. Like that's the dude that be on tour with him, opening up for so of course he gonna play his mans.
Do you think we get Burna Boy WizKid diss records out of this? I think that beef might say. You don't think so?
I don't think WizKid is putting out a diss track. I don't think he's doing that. We may get WizKid bars on a Burna Boy album. That might happen.
Why would they? But do you think
like no, like a diss? Like he may allude to it, or like, you know what I'm saying, like sneak diss him on a record. But I don't know if he's gonna I don't know if this is gonna be like back and forth. I don't anticipate that.
Maybe I think I'm just always in diss mode now. Like Drake and
yeah. Honestly, I'm still looking for the Shake Rema beef. I'm still looking for that.
I could get down with that one. That'd be some bars there.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Rema wants to smoke.
We're doing an R&B series on our socials. Definitely go check that out. This is R&B month for us. We're going genre by genre. Check us out. Real R&R. Yes, sir.
Have you heard this? What You Feel Like, the WYFL rhythm by DJ Mac and Crash Dummy?
Yeah, I heard that. I actually listened to a couple of them because I was coming here to tell you which one I like the best. But
tell me which one you like the best after this. But there was like 50 versions of it. Yeah. Like 50 different artists made versions of this, which I think is really dope. It even got to some American rappers. But yeah, which ones are your favorites?
Out of the ones I heard, Buju's was pretty good. I thought Vibes was like, I don't know. I heard the first 30 seconds. It sounded like somebody trying to do a Vibes Cartel impression. Wasn't very good. But I'm here to say, and they might kill me for this in Jamaica. If I can't come back, I'm sorry. I think Fab smoked all of these niggas.
I think Fab had the best one?
I do, personally. Like, I heard Remy's, I heard Skangs, I heard Fab's, I heard NLE Choppas with whoever. I heard, who else did I hear? Like I said, I heard Buju. Like, I heard a couple of them. I listened to at least 5 to 7 of them. And I was like, I think Fab smoked this one. I'm not going to gap.
I think he's definitely in my little top 3. My favorite one, funny enough, is Big Shaq.
I didn't even hear that one.
Oh, you didn't hear that one?
Yeah.
I gotta play it for you.
I'll play it, because honestly, this is one of the better beats I've heard in the past couple of years. Like, and I hear a lot of beats, guys.
I just think it's funny. It's short, but I think it's funny. But he's one of those dudes where it's like, if he wanted to, he could really rap. Mm-hmm. If he wanted to, but he's a comedian, so it's like
I'm sending you.
Yeah,
change your
the man's not hot.
Be incognito. Stay low key. I'm gonna send my.
Hey. DJ Bombo clap my old type Mac, you don't know.
Dummy on the beat, so it's a bang.
Like a Bayesian or Trini, in it. Yeah, I'm from London, where we say in it. Girl look good when they walk past in it. When I don't know what to say, I say in it. Hey, them boy bluffing, they're not scuffing on some Mac D's thing. Egg McMuffins, ain't on nothing. Man saying something, I'm smart like buffing. See man roughing, see them ups, them ducking. Me, I'm not ducking from the paper. Never. Haircut, taper, look at that shaper. Baby girl, you look good with no makeup. Face card, you already made up. Them boy, they're lazy. Go get your cake up. Got 1 acre. Boy, see you later. Saw me a Barbie. I'ma be a Ken. Call me a Yardie. I was never them. Love me a Yardie, but I'm African. Call her auntie, but she my mum friend. See me in the bar. I call them. Rolly or Carty. Cutting through the ends like a beige or Trini. In it. Yeah, I'm from London, where we say in it. Girl look good when they walk past in it. When I don't know what to say, I say in it. Are you flipping dumb? Big chocolate. Skin smooth like milk chocolato.
Like milk chocolato.
Now, that nigga can rap though. I forgot about him, bro.
Man's not hot. Man's not hot. He be getting it. He be getting it. Nah, this is cool though. I want more artists to do stuff. I want more artists to do stuff like this. Like when Molly, when she put out Shake It to the Max, and Shaggy wanted to get on it, and Molly blocked it. Molly was like, "Nah, Shaggy, I don't want you on this." And then when they asked her about it, she said, "I just had a different vision for the song." I'm like, what does that even mean? I don't think people realize like what this does. Now we on here talking about who got the better one. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these are gonna last. Like I think Fabulous is probably gonna be the one I go back to the most. I also liked where is this at? Nige Boy. His was cool. Valiant was all right. But there was so many of them, bro. It's up to like 74 now.
Yeah, the playlist I saw on Spotify was 2 hours long. Like that shit was insane.
Yeah. But shout out to DJ Mac. This is cool. This is cool. New music. You heard the Fetty Wap extended version of No One Told Us?
I did hear that. He was on there sounding like Meek, bro. That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, he was on there rapping. I was surprised too. I liked it.
Yeah, I think Leon Thomas is the new hook king, bro. I don't know who could fuck with him.
Probably. Other than that, there's an artist named Genevieve who makes like alternative, I would say it's damn near neo soul. But she put out a song called Flight Risque. She is clearly rolling out an album. This is the second song she's put out in the last 2 months. This one's featuring Freddie Gibbs and Salimata, who I'm not that familiar with, but I like this song a lot. Freddie Gibbs is pretty decent on an R&B song. So
Genevieve, you got my attention. Let me just say that. I went listen to the song. Freddie Gibbs, you snapped on that. But if people got a certain look when it comes to like R&B, neo soul, I'm gonna give it a listen. So I'm gonna get that 2025 album a listen. Good shit.
Okay. Last thing I wanted to get into today.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Before we get into that, I text you this weekend, and I said, sending Sexyy Red a beat is a waste of a beat.
I got that text. I remember that.
Sexyy Red put out a project. There was 2 Metro Boomin songs on there. There was an ATL Jacob song on there. It was a bunch of music on there. But my thing is, when I see featuring Metro Boomin, it's not just like a production credit. My thing is like, oh, this is about to be, it's about to be one of them. And the beats weren't bad, obviously. Metro Boomin is a great producer. But when she came on what was the intro, bro? What was the intro?
The one with DJ Holiday? Her.
That was the worst song I've ever heard. I feel like every time I listen to a new Sexyy Red song, it's like, yo, I didn't know you could make music this bad.
I was looking up and down on this project for that Beat It record, bro. I was hoping that was going to be out here. That was the worst one. But overall, when I heard this album, I was not really that excited about it. I think one song I'm probably going to go back to is the one with Pluto, just because they make music in that same vibe. And I want to hear that kind of like out. I think that's going to be crazy out.
What's the name of the song?
You want me to say it? It's called
for the crowd.
Yeah, Team Little Booty. You know, we don't have no little booties, but I'm just talking about for the, dancing, shaking ass on top of cars. Wouldn't be bad for that type of vibe for the summer. I still think the single with Key Glock, that sounded okay, but otherwise I didn't really get all the way through this because like I felt the same exact way. Like she's just kind of getting to a point of being repetitive. It's not really like, I don't know. I'm not loving the new stuff. I don't know.
Who's had a worse 3-album run
than Sexyy Red?
Yeah, I'm looking at these 3 projects, and like the first one has Ski on there. It's got Pound Town on there, and it's got Looking for the Hoes. It's like, okay, it's not a good album, but it's got 3 songs on there that people like. That second album with the Drake feature, not good. Not good. And Sexy We Trust, not good. It had Get It Sexy on there. So it had one song that people like for real. Right? Oh, it had You My Everything. That's the Drake song. Yeah, no, we don't like that. Ain't no songs on this one. So who's had a worse 3 album run?
I wouldn't say 3 album, but after Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, obviously Roddy Ricch took a big dip down. So I think
wouldn't even say it's this bad.
really?
Roddy Ricch, I could go back and I might not like the album, but I guarantee I can find a song I like.
Yeah, there's a couple on there. Okay. Yeah, no, that was a bad one. I was just thinking of niggas who took like a dip after they first or second album. Maybe I couldn't even say Cordae. Like his projects were good. It's just like he not getting the visibility.
He's still making good music.
Yeah.
It might not be a classic album, but he's still making good music.
I don't know if I can think
Shout
of
out
one,
St.
guys.
Louis. Shout out St. Louis, man. New segment. I don't know if this will be repetitive because this will be a hard segment to do every week. Songs you didn't know were British. Return of the Mac.
What?
Did you know this?
I didn't know that was made by a guy from Britain.
Bro,
I didn't know that.
Return of the Mac is by Mark Morrison, a British young man. He was born in Germany to Barbadian parents, raised in Leicester, UK, and in Florida. But he spent a lot of time in the UK because that's where he mostly grew up. But I just found out this weekend that was British. Interesting enough.
I was just gonna say, I always find it interesting that like when British artists are singing, it still sounds like it's an American accent, so you can't tell.
Exactly. I just informed somebody this weekend that Cleo Soul was British. Back to Life. A British group called Soul to Soul. Something that I was unaware of. I did not know that song was British, but the song, I feel like it came over into American ethos in Belly.
Oh yeah, I know this
Back to life.
Bro,
Back
what?
to reality. Back to life. Yes, bro. British. Soul to Soul. Where did they grow up in London? That was in the 80s. But they also have another song that you probably heard, Keep On Moving On.
Mhm.
Keep on moving. Keep on moving on.
Mhm.
That's them too.
Okay.
But yeah, these 2 songs that I thought were like, definitely thought they were American. They're British.
I don't think anybody else would have said it but us. Stick here, guys. Because I wouldn't have known that. Nobody has ever said anything like that. A lot of people just hate on Return of the Mac. That's what I be hearing. But
hard-hitting news. What songs you got for the people this week, man?
Okay. I got 2 for y'all. So I'm gonna give y'all 50 by Baby Money and Rex Life Raj. A collab I wasn't expecting, but I really
That was a
liked
good song.
this. Yeah, no, I really fucked with it. The whole album, honestly, there was a couple good songs on there. But Baby Money, artist out of Detroit, I'm gonna just say out of Michigan, because Flint and Detroit have been kind of synonymous with that whole sound at the moment. But that song was great. 50, him and Rex Life Raj. And then I will also give y'all BIAF, Hard Sign, with Young Miko. She put this song out this week. It's definitely more of a pop vibe. I had a song that it sounded like, and I can't remember it right now, but I'll just put it next to the song. Like it really gives this vibe. So go check that out. Those are my 2 for the week.
All right. I'll give y'all 2 songs. Have you heard Talking to Artists by Giggs?
No, I haven't.
This is like, by all accounts, this is like the British anthem. Like this is probably like this song at a party when it comes on is like, I don't want to say the Cupid Shuffle. That's a bad comparison. I don't want to say Dreams and Nightmares, but somewhere in that vein for them. You know what I mean? I just think the beat is crazy. I think about halfway through, I kind of get tired of the flow a little bit, but the way he comes on in the first second, if you talking the hardest, gigs better come up in your thoughts as an artist. That's a hard first bar. And then the backtrack on this, I don't know. It just it made me restart the song a couple times. And then Skew It on the Barbie by Outkast and Raekwon. I think this one's insane.
I'm gonna have to go check that out. Big Outkast fan here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into that one. You already know. But that's what I got for y'all this week. If you made it this far, tell us how many people can Burna Boy beat up until you become not a fan. Leave that in the comments. We're gonna start leaving good questions. Like, we're gonna make you interact. Because my thing is, technically, he didn't beat anybody up.
He did. Like, he gave him 2 slaps and called it a day.
Technically, some other people that were associated with him did it. So I don't know if I'm ready to get off the bandwagon.
Yeah, I think the thing that made me question it was the whole concert thing. But like, at the same time, it's like, nigga, why are you sleeping at my show? But I don't know.
The Nigerian DJ Association. All right, we're done. All right, we'll see y'all next week, man. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all niggas, man. What the fuck?